Hello, Kingdom citizens, Velocity Banking students, and subscribers. My name is Denzel Rodriguez, your personal finance geek on this channel. We cover Velocity Banking, Infinite Banking, Kingdom Authority, and we are live with my friend Alex here. He's a marketing expert. He's going to give you a little background story about him and how we came about working with each other. The main focus of this video today, what we're going to be talking about is how did I get started in YouTube? How did I meet Alex? The tools that he taught me to grow my business, to go from zero to over $250,000 in revenue. Just about $250,000 today, October 2019. And I started back in 2018 during the summertime. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce my friend Alex here.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it, man.
What's up, man?
Yeah.
How's everything going?
Doing well. Excited to be on the show.
All right, tell us who you are, how we met. Let them know the background
Little breakdown.
story.
Yeah.
And how, what you saw in me and what we're doing today now.
For sure. So my name is Alex Albran, and I'm a marketing consultant, entrepreneur, things of that nature. And Denzel and I met around 15 months ago. Yeah, 15, 16 months ago through a mutual friend. And we met up at Panera Bread. He was just starting his business. He was still working a job. And I was just kind of starting my marketing business as well. So we were both in the same stage of business. And he told me, I have all of this knowledge. I just don't know how to package it and reach an audience and, build revenue. He didn't really have a sense of like what the business model would be. So that's kind of how we got started. We started working, in-person meetings, phone calls, things of that nature. And then, we scaled up and we've been working together for, like 14, 15 months ever since, so.
And you were the guy that told me that I should do videos.
Yes. Yeah.
So I want everyone here to know I give credit to Alex right here for recommending me to record videos to share what it is that I know.
Yeah, but that's the key word though, recommend.
Yeah.
Because I could recommend to do anything. I could recommend you work out 5 days a week, or I could recommend, my dad eat healthier, but most people don't do it. Like I tell people to create content, write blogs, create videos, but they don't do it. They don't have the patience that Denzel has. They don't have the ability that he has. So I could recommend anybody do anything, but you're one of my best clients because he actually took action and stayed patient, and then look where he's at now. So
cool. So let's start from ground zero.
Yep.
Kind of, I want you to write down the free resources, the free tools that you told me to do to start recording content, maybe like a basic budget amount to invest in equipment.
Yep.
And mind you people, here were my numbers when I met Alex. Okay, I was working at a job. I was making $2,000 a month. But once I actually started working with Alex, I actually lost my job. So I lost my income. And he had told me, okay, we got to start creating content. We got to get out there. And he was giving me different ideas to bring in revenue and create like a stream of income from what I was teaching. So here was the numbers. I was making $0 to $2,000 a month, had $20,000 in debt. My cash flow was $0 to $500. My expenses were going up because now I don't have any income coming in, so I have to use whatever cash flow savings. I was putting myself more into debt so that I can just keep things flowing. Hence, Velocity Banking kept me afloat a little bit because I had my line of credit, and it was rough. So coming over here to this side, give us like just the basic fundamental. What was the tools that you had initially told me to start using first, and then we're going to explain how we gradually graduate from each expense, each equipment, each investment, paying you and also paying for things and services and that nature.
Gotcha. So to start, Denzel already had a really strong background in velocity banking, personal finance, so he had a specific set of knowledge. So we already had a specific set of information that he wanted to share. So now it's a matter of, okay, well, how can I reach my audience with that specific set of knowledge? And for him, since he was starting out, he didn't have a huge budget for, let's say, Facebook advertising, and he had an ability to present, to speak, almost public speaking type of thing. So I recommend he do YouTube videos. And with these YouTube videos, start out doing what with iPhone, in your room, using the sun as your lighting. So you start out just with the bare bones. Yeah.
I was using the iPhone mic, and you guys heard me. Maybe not that well, but even to this day, those are my highest performing videos, my worst
Yeah.
videos.
But that's the thing though. The worst produced, but the best content. And at least with this, you got started. It's not like with this whole new studio that you have now.
Right.
When people want to start YouTube channels or even start a business, they're like, oh, I need an office. I need to like go all the way into the future into this type of setup. But realistically, you need to start small, build your content out, get better at presenting, understand who your audience is, what they want, and then slowly but surely scale up your equipment, your office, your staff.
Right.
But you have to start
want
here.
Stay there.
Exactly.
Because you also want to respect your audience that is supporting you from day one. They're like, okay, I like this guy, I'm watching his content, or if you're a woman, they're watching your content, you're like, wow, she's awesome. You know, I'm gonna stick with her, I think she can make it. And then as you're growing, then
you level up.
Right.
That's the thing, most people, they don't want to focus on the content, they just want to invest money into expensive equipment. You literally just had, when you were at the YouTube stage, starting out, iPhone, and I maybe gave you some little mic that you could plug into your phone, and you're using your room and your sunlight. But then you built out your experience, you built out your content base. So then from here, YouTube was a good place to start with you because like I said, you're a good public speaker, you can present, you can speak well, but it's also free. It's free to upload, it's free traffic, and it was a niche that wasn't really that well, I guess you could say. There wasn't a big amount of creators on YouTube that were focusing on velocity banking, personal finance, things like that. So there was a bit of a hole in the market where you came in and then you started creating content for that specific audience who was looking for that type of content. All right, so you start out doing YouTube, bare minimum equipment, but then from there.
What was the amount of money that you recommended me to spend? I know it was like definitely like under 300. Like
in terms of what, like equipment?
Equipment, the mic, you know, different lighting, cheap stuff. Because I remember he was sending me stuff on Amazon like, yo, just buy this. It's $20.
Yeah.
This is $50. This is $15.
Yeah. I mean, I forget exactly what the specific items were, but to start with a YouTube channel, you probably need $100. $100 and hustle and energy. Those two other factors you don't need money for, but all you need is really $100 for equipment, like that little mic was $50 that you started using at first. Maybe like you can on Amazon get some nice lighting for $40, that would help. But it's not really about the monetary investment. It's more about the time, the energy, the hustle, the patience, because when you started making YouTube videos, you didn't really build up a huge audience for the first, 3 or 4 months, maybe 5. And that's the thing, most people, they create a few videos and they want to somehow become viral and become famous off of a few videos. One video. But you took the time, you made videos almost every day, right?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day, and he trusted the process, and then that's why around month 6, month 7, he got that exponential growth, right? So
let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So once we started making videos, I was spending a couple dollars here and there.
Yeah.
What was a way that I was bringing in the actual income? What tool
Gotcha.
did I use for
Okay.
that?
So once you started building up a bit of an audience on YouTube, you got on Patreon. And Patreon's where if you have a YouTube channel, people that watch your videos, they can donate $5, $10, $50, or $100. But Denzel actually created packages to where they would get phone calls, they would get resources, they would get coaching. So then his first revenue stream was Patreon. And this is before we set up any of the programs like the Masterclass, the Lifetime, the Manifesto. So this was the first revenue stream where he started putting the link to his Patreon in his bio. He set up the coaching packages, and then people could, depending on how much they wanted to invest, they could go to, let's say, the lower level, the mid-tier, or the high tier. So that's kind of the first main revenue stream from YouTube, from your audience.
And then what was a tool that we used to get the people to come or to reach out to me? Do you remember what we were using?
What?
The sign-up form.
What, like Squarespace or what Calendly?
What was it called? It was free.
It was like a form?
It was just a form.
I forget. I do forget, yeah. I'm going to have to look that up after.
There's a free form, guys.
Was it Typeform?
Not Typeform.
Not Typeform? FormStack?
FormStack.
FormStack, yeah.
FormStack is free, right?
Yeah, so we had Patreon and then FormStack.
Right, so FormStack was a free service, and it's just a simple, anyone can make it. You just have name, number, email, right? To get people's information so that you can reach out to them. And then that's where, you know, the phone call came in and me sending them to Patreon. Hey, give to my mission. This is what I'm all about. This is what I'm trying to do. Help me.
Exactly. So moving on from here, he had these two different streams where they could either go to Patreon, they could do one of the lower levels, or they can go to FormStack, reach out to him directly, and then maybe want to go for a higher level of one-on-one coaching at that point. So from here on Patreon, what was your initial kind of, I guess you could say, revenue from that? And would you scale up to in terms of like your max at Patreon?
Right. So the first month, what was it? I brought in like 400 to 500. Then it was like 1,100 the second month. The third month, I did 3,000. This is consistently making the videos, putting the link, having the form stack for them to reach out to me at a contact form. By month 4 or 5 is when I hit about 6K, and that's when I said, we need a website, right?
Yeah.
So what was the next step right after, you know, bringing in the revenue through Patreon? What were some of the things that you were telling me, you know, about Patreon in general and just leveling up?
Gotcha. Yeah, so he was getting to, on Patreon, you know, 6K to even, I've seen like 8 to 10K a month on Patreon. And of course, going from where he was at over here, making, you know, 0 to 500 cash flow, 20K in debt, 6 to 10K isn't bad. But with Patreon, the downside is you don't own your revenue stream. So with that, Patreon controls your entire income, your entire revenue. And like I said, you don't really own a revenue stream because Patreon could shut down any day and now all your revenue is gone. So I'm like, okay, this is a good first step from getting from, you know, here to there, but how can we scale up? So then I'm like, okay, we set up a Squarespace website. Squarespace costs roughly $6 to $10 a month, very inexpensive. Anybody could start a site on Squarespace.
Whoa.
So then with that, we set up programs to where people can go.
Let's do Squarespace, so let's write that down. So that's
we moved
another
to
resource. So we've got YouTube creating content, the Patreon to bring in revenue, bring in some sort of income to start things off, got the form stack. Now we're graduating into Squarespace. January 2019, my birthday is when I launched the website, right, as like a celebration.
Yeah.
And right, I think I paid a little bit more for like the higher tier,
Yeah.
but like you said, what was it, $6
But
to
to
$10 a
start,
month?
it could be $6 to even $12 a month. And you could do month to month, so you don't have to lock yourself into a long-term agreement.
Okay.
But with that, then we set up programs where people can, on his YouTube videos, go to the description, I'm sure you guys have seen, and the first program was, I believe, the lifetime membership. Right, so if I can get this.
Time service.
So see, we're going from just having a set of knowledge, sharing that knowledge for free, I mean $100 or less to start, getting to around 6 to 10K revenue per month through Patreon, and then now he's going on his own in terms of owning his revenue streams and then scaling up from there. All right, so let me create a little space here. And that's the thing, even though you're at 6 to 10K a month, Denzel never was complacent towards like, oh yeah, I'm at 6 to 10K, that's, you know, roughly 6 figures. I'm just gonna, you know, do less videos, go on vacation and buy a nice car, move out, buy a nice crib. Like you were not trying to do any of that. You, frugal, you saw the vision. And from there, you weren't just satisfied with making 6 to 10K a month. So that also has to be, you know, give credit to you. You had the mindset towards like, look, I can basically have an unlimited growth potential for this. So I'm not just gonna be complacent at 6 to 10K a month, right? So like, what was kind of your mindset behind looking to scale up?
10x. 10x. You guys hear me say this often. I've got the little subliminal messages that I, you know, do on all my videos. You'll always see like a little 10x sign somewhere. When you realize that when you have the potential to make 10 times where you're currently at, you now have the ability to not only supply yourself and take care of your own personal needs, but you also have the ability to help other people. That was the whole intention behind my 10x and that mindset is I'm not making this money just for me. I'm doing this for my mom. I'm doing this for my girlfriend. I'm doing this for my close friends where I can bless people, be a blessing, and be a cheerful giver. So that was the mindset behind that.
Gotcha. So then You're at the 6 to 10K a month with Patreon. Now we set up the Squarespace website, and that was $6 to $12 a month.
Okay.
Per month. And then from there, we started offering the lifetime membership program, which is roughly
that was $9.97.
So it was $9.97.
But let's go into more tools that allowed me to successfully execute what it is I was selling. So in terms of now what you're in, what you were telling me to do, let's go over those different tools like the Zapier, the Calendly. Like I want them to know that. Like what was all those tools that you had me using, and then kind of just break down the cost.
Gotcha. So with the lifetime membership, it wasn't priced to where it was a $10,000 program. It was priced pretty competitively to where anybody in any financial state could invest in it. But with that, it's scalable if you have the right technology. Because everybody that purchases it, at the time you're dealing with them one-on-one, you're doing breakdown videos. So it was a lot of manual energy. It wasn't totally automated, but we wanted to have as much tech as possible to automate as much as we could. So we used things like MailChimp, which is free to start, no cost, $0 a month if you have up to 1,000 email contacts. And that was to where when somebody signed up for the lifetime membership, they could then receive an email automatically through MailChimp, so he wouldn't have to manually email them. And it would include different links where they can book their initial call, more information, and just that alone could save you an hour a day, having to email people that just signed up.
Definitely.
So we use MailChimp, which is $0 a month. Zapier. That starts off as free and then eventually $20 a month once you scale up. But again, to start, Zapier.com, it's free. And that's an automation tool where you can connect a site like Squarespace with MailChimp, where you can integrate them and say, look, once somebody signs up for the lifetime membership on Squarespace, Zapier then connects this with MailChimp and tells MailChimp, hey, send this person this specific email at this specific time once they sign up. So with Zapier, that just helped save even more time for you and helped you scale up to where now, you don't have to be emailing, like I said, every single person. And then with MailChimp, let's say you want to send an email blast to your Patreon subscribers or people who sign up for the membership, you can do so easily with MailChimp instead of having to email everybody manually, individually. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And then to schedule the call, what was the other tool?
Yeah, so we use another tool called Calendly, CALENDLY, and that starts off as free as well, but then really you want to get the upgraded plan, which is $15 a month, and that allows people like Denzel, once somebody signs up for this, it includes an introductory phone call and other phone calls as well. But instead of Denzel having to reach out to this person saying, hey, what time works for you on Thursday? I have this time, I have that time, and doing that whole back and forth.
That takes forever.
Especially once he was starting to get one person a day, multiple people every week sign up.
Different time zones.
Yep.
Remember, if you're on the internet, you're reaching a global market now. So,
Gotcha. So Calendly is basically a scheduling tool which allowed Denzel to integrate the calendar on his phone with this software so that he would send the link to somebody. They would go on, they would see what time he has available, and they would just book the call right then and there. So there's no back and forth, there's no emailing, no texting. This tool allows you to scale up in that sense because even though the phone calls, he has to obviously take their manual calls one-on-one, this allowed him to take more calls, which allowed him to get more members at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, the next tool was managing all the different services that I offer. So now I got 4 services. The lifetime, right? We're in like February, March of 2019. This is full rolling out. Got the lifetime, and I got the Patreon page with 3 different tier levels at different price points. So that's 4 groups of people. What was the other tool that we used to manage that? And watch your foot, because it's like
My bad.
the table.
So manual. Or you mean the tool to, what do you mean? Like the CRM or?
The CRM.
Okay, the CRM. So once he started scaling up this program and he started offering other programs, he has to manage all these contacts. So we used a tool called Pipedrive. And this is a simple CRM. You can get it for free, but you really want to upgrade to the $20 a month plan. And this allowed him to keep track of all of his contacts, whether they were a Patreon member, a lifetime member, when's the last time they talked, when's their next call coming up, because once he started scaling up in terms of, like I said, getting multiple people a week on this program, he needed to be able to manage them and make sure that he's giving each one of them, you know, what they paid for. So this is kind of the next step in terms of managing all those contacts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And look where we kind of started, where we started literally with just a knowledge base.
This is good stuff, man.
Knowledge base, no audience, no really money to spend on paid traffic. I mean, 0 to 500 in cash flow, $20,000 in debt. And he started off doing YouTube, but he also had the hustle, that he spent the time, he had the energy, he had the patience to turn just this knowledge base into now all these softwares. You know, he's paying me, now he has other team members, he's getting people to pay this almost every single day, more clients every single day paying this. So this is after what, maybe a year doing the videos, or what, like 8-10 months?
So by like, I think it was like May or June of 2019, I closed it off because I had I had overload, so I had to manage the amount that I was putting out, and then that's when I started creating more and more services.
Exactly.
Before we jump into anything else, I want to recognize all the people in the house. We got 49 people in here, so I'm really excited about that. We got Selvin in the house. How you doing? Angel, Albert, Tommy, how are you? Let's see. He says, I'm glad our friend of mine to recommend to watch you guys trying to get a 3-family house under my name, but I have to continue mortgage. All right, Tommy, you're going to put in that work. Hello, Sherry Lee. How are you? Hello, from I got some people from Hawaii. How you doing? Victor, Gary. Gary's a new client. How you doing, Gary? How's everything going? Alice. Hello, Melro. Reginald. Health Before Wealth. My friend James. How are you up in Jersey? How's everything going? Bryson and Ted. I just want to recognize you guys. Thank you for being here. I hope you're enjoying this content. This is, you know, not something I do every day, but it is things I want to share with you, my experience on the whole velocity banking pathway. Now, here's where velocity banking comes into play. I just want to go over it just a little bit, real briefly, right? Is with all those different tools that we had going on that I was paying for, understand that all I was doing was running it through a credit card at a 0% rate for about 12 months, right? And instead of paying monthly, what I went ahead and did was I paid for those things annually. And I projected, well, shoot, if I'm making almost 10 grand a month, I can save money by paying for these services by the year. And I get cashback rewards anywhere from like 1 to 3% on that credit card. So not only am I saving money on the expense, which I can write off in my business, but I'm also getting cash back, and I don't necessarily have to pay for it out of my cash right now. Here's where velocity banking gives you that window space to buy you some time, keep your cash flow. And what I was doing was, for the things that I could not run through a credit card, I had more cash to put towards those things, such as wiping out that debt, right? I can throw it, you know, the things that could not be paid with a credit card, or I was using my line of credit to do my chunking, okay? So just a quick thing, here's how velocity banking can work really well in the process, you know, of paying off debt, building your business, keeping things going. So the next thing, Alex, is now that we're like in June, July 2019,
Yep.
we're killing it. Where, you know, I hit like a 30K month.
That's what I was gonna say real quick. Like if you could do the after for like, let's say, yeah, like a year after you started. We started in the summer of 2018, and like numbers for summer of 2019.
Yeah, so now the numbers, with the help of my friend Alex here, because he is the guy that allowed me the opportunity and the resources to bring all the revenue in, even though I'm creating all the content, I'm doing all this work. But when you have someone like Alex to help you actually give your clients the opportunity to click on the link and sign up the form and do this and do that, like that whole technological, making it really, really easy for your customer, the faster they're going to pull out their credit card and commit, especially if you're giving them so much value, right? So after a year, debt is 0, income on average is like, I was doing as low as 10, but as high as 20 because I had that crazy month.
Yeah.
So that was like a 35K month. So I just created a little range.
So basically,
there.
what you made in a year and a half before, in 1 month, that 35K month.
Correct.
Yeah.
What I made in a year when I was at my job is what I did in 1 month.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That was straight cash flow that whole month because I had all my expenses paid through my line of credit. It was just amazing. So I'm cash flowing now, 10K consistently each and every month, but that could be as high as like 15 or, just more explosion. So that's the after effect. Are there any other tools that you had me, invest in or purchase now? Because we're getting into the next stage. So tell them about this one now.
So I'd say in terms of scaling from now, he's at roughly 10 to 20K revenue. Or is that personal income or revenue?
That's revenue from the business.
Okay.
I was paying myself basically $2,000-3,000 a month.
Okay.
From the company.
Gotcha.
So even after paying myself that $3K a month, I was still doing this amount, 10 to 20K. So now that we've got capital, now that we're making things happen, the content is on a consistent basis. I have an audience. I have a following. Now what did you tell me to do?
Gotcha. So he was at that 10 to 20K a month, and that was using a Squarespace site, which is, like I said, it's a basic site. It's not built for conversions. We found out to where he was still making good income with it, but I could definitely see him doing 50K a month just with a few small tweaks. So we moved over all of his programs because at this time we have the, summer 2019, we have the Manifesto, which I'm sure you guys have heard of. That is $7 a month or $70 a year. So that's his kind of lower tier program. And then now at this point he has the Masterclass, which is his mid-tier group program, which is, at the time it was $497 a month, now it's $897. So, just $497 in general. Then he had, instead of the lifetime, he had the annual. Because with the lifetime, you had so many people in it, you couldn't really foresee yourself, as your audience grew, still enrolling people and still giving them that same level of service. So that's why we changed it to the annual membership. And for this, it was $997. So now we start off with just Patreon, people on lower tier plans, like mid-tier plans.
Literally $10 a month, $47 a month, $147.
And that was like the high one. Like 147 was like, damn, nice. That's awesome. And now we have 3 different options for people depending on what stage you're at, what type of investment they want to make. So we have the Manifesto, the Masterclass, and the annual. And on your Squarespace site, like I said, it's just not built to, let's say, convert somebody who visits the site into an actual paying customer. So at this point, I'm like, to scale up, we need to invest in something called ClickFunnels. Now, ClickFunnels is a bit more expensive than anything else he'd probably invest in at that point. ClickFunnels is a software where, with the basic website, you can have an about page, a contact page, a testimonials page. Like you can learn a lot about, let's say, something like Denzel on a Squarespace site. But a ClickFunnels site doesn't have any of that. It just has sales pages built to convert people that are just visiting the site into paying customers. So to get from 10 to 20K all the way up to now, we want to get to 50, we needed ClickFunnels. So this is $97 a month, and you could even go all the way up to $297 if you want the biggest, baddest plan.
I got the biggest, baddest plan.
I think you start off with the 97 and then upgrade it to the 297. Yeah. But think about it like this. Before, he was making this much cash flow, and now he's spending $297 on one software per month. So it's also a matter of him willing to invest in himself, not just a matter of, oh, he's making more money, he's going to spend more. A lot of people, they get to 10 or 20K a month, and they're good. They're not trying to level up. They're trying to minimize expenses. They're just trying to short term, like I want more money now. But he was willing to invest $297 in one software because he knew if used correctly, it was going to make him more money. And then now we have set up the Manifesto sales page, Masterclass, the annual. So we set up a whole different site, and each of these are separate sales pages to where now using ClickFunnels, our conversion rate is like much higher. I think like 3 or 4% to where if 100 people visit any of these pages, we're going to get roughly 4 customers, whether it be the Manifesto or all the way up to the annual. So that's how...
4 customers?
Yeah.
For every 100 people that's for someone that's not a lot. If you're charging
$9.97.
X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's a lot. Especially what if you're this is great for like consultants and coaches. If you're a life coach, you do any type of service base that you're trading time for money, but just at a higher hourly rate.
Yep.
This and you don't have to do any pre-work to get that customer. They already know who you are now, right? Because now I'm building an audience. They know who I am. They trust me. They like me. They know me. They are supporting me because I'm giving them all this free value. I'm giving them this value, and they're really making drastic changes in their financial lifestyle.
Getting case studies, testimonials.
Case studies, testimonials,
Yep.
and then going to the next stage, going to the next stage, going to the next stage. So
Yeah. So this is kind of where we're at now, to where almost every single day we have somebody buying the manifesto, buying the masterclass, buying the annual, and you've been on vacation, and I've seen sales coming in to where you're literally doing nothing, and sales are coming in for the manifesto, the masterclass, the annual. But that's the thing, people, they just want to get here where he's at now. They just want to get to the point where, like, yeah, I just want to make money and not do work. Like, Denzel works very hard, and he spent roughly 15 months hustling with YouTube videos. I think you have like 302 or 330 or something.
350 videos.
300 videos that he's made. Think about that, and how much time goes into planning the videos, shooting, editing, uploading for you guys. At first for free, he was not getting paid. But to get to the point where he's making $9.97, $4.97, well now $8.97, or even $70 per year from just this one little program on autopilot, basically, it took time, it took patience, and it took investment to get here. So the thing is, when I work with my clients, they want to get here from day one. They want to skip all of the work, all the progression, from the 5K to the 10K to the 20K a month. They just want to skip and get right here where he's at now.
Right.
But if you just want to start, we want to go all the way back to where he started. You have a knowledge base that you're looking to monetize. To get there first, you want to start as small as possible. Get better at your craft, figure out exactly who your ideal client is, and then eventually get here, where you're charging, almost $1,000, now $8.97 for this, and these are group programs as well, like the masterclass. And now he's being able to leverage his time more by working with a group instead of, one-on-one individual lifetime membership clients like it was last year. So now with this game plan in place, he's going to be able to scale up to 40 or 50K a month pretty soon. Yeah.
I like the sound of that,
Yeah.
and that allows me to be even more of a giver and just keep fulfilling my purpose in life and owning my kingdom, having that authority, right, to command and manifest things into existence. Now, what are some ways to fast track what I did? Because I know that, I'm sort of that rare apple in these cases. So what are some fast track ways to take everything that Denzel did, but fast track it? This is where you come in.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Where you're now helping clients fast track exactly what I did, still doing what I'm doing, giving them that advice. But if someone's like, I'm not willing to do that organic, day in the weeds,
Patience.
in the mud,
Yep.
patience, ramen noodle diet, like really being frugal. If there's some people that just don't operate that way. So give us that new strategy where I can fast track everything that we just did, that we just went over.
Absolutely. So with Denzel, like we spoke about, it took him months before he even started making a few $100s on Patreon, right? So with that, also, like you're saying, you had the patience, you had the time. And for me, that's why, like you're saying, you're like the rare person where it worked out in that sense. But most people, they want to see revenue, they want to see results within the first month.
Right.
So for you, traffic, basically people that they know you, they see you, and that's where you get traffic to your sales pages to then convert into customers. That's what we're looking for. It's really just a matter of switching your traffic source to a more predictable, consistent method. Because for you were getting people to visit your Patreon, your sales pages, your lifetime membership programs through YouTube. And you're able to do that because you put out the videos, and that's free traffic. You never had to spend money on advertising. So let's say if you wanted 1,000 people to go to your sales pages, it was $0. But you spent the time, the patience to build up the audience to where that was a possibility.
Which technically, time is money.
Exactly.
So
Gotcha. So
even though I wasn't paying for the 1,000, I was putting in $1,000 worth of work and time to get that free organic reach.
yes.
So let's start diving into, like I want you to start breaking down numbers because my people like line by line,
Gotcha.
they like number by number in terms
Yep.
of fast tracking, gaining traffic in other alternative ways that we can, put
That are
money
more
into
predictable,
something
consistent.
more predictable,
Exactly.
more consistent. Because someone could do everything that I do and still not get anything, right? Because you might just really be bad. At the end of the day, that's the truth. You
Yeah,
might
that's
just
true.
not have it.
In terms of presenting YouTube
in terms
videos.
of presenting,
Yeah.
it may not be right for you for YouTube. So like he said, he recommended it. What
Yeah.
if he made that recommendation, but I sucked on
Yeah.
camera? It would have taken probably much longer, but because I was in my element and I started to get more comfortable, it just so happened that things worked out. Luck met opportunity,
Yeah.
patience, things like that. But there are many cases. I have clients that want to start businesses and maybe video's not for them. Maybe they need to do blogging, direct mail, door to door. I got a client, he goes door to door still in 2019, going into 2020. God bless him, So
I think he's going to want to watch this
he's
part.
going to want to watch this
yeah.
because he's interested in, how do I bring in traffic without having to do all of that organic
Hustle. That's not predictable. That's not consistent.
Loads of work. Right. That's not predictable. It's a risk.
Yeah.
Everything is a risk when you're doing it through here.
Exactly.
But what you're about to get into is predictable stuff.
Predictable. You don't have to have a big personality. You don't have to be a YouTuber. You don't have to have that kind of public speaking ability. And I actually got into this side of it, and just to kind of give you guys an idea, it's based around Facebook advertising. So Facebook and Instagram advertising. So this is kind of the traffic source to where instead of for Denzel, it was unpredictable, unreliable, free, but it took a lot of time to develop. With Facebook advertising, you guys can turn on an ad and tomorrow get leads, get sales, and it's very predictable, very consistent. And I actually got into Facebook advertising because I saw the success he was having, and I'm like, man, that's awesome. Like we started at the same stage, but he was starting to scale up, a lot higher than me. So I'm like, man, I don't want to really start a YouTube channel because it's going to take a long time. How can I predictably get prospects on the phone where I can sell them a service? Like you said, service-based businesses, consultants, coaches, agencies, this is who that works for. So then through Facebook advertising, this is how the click funnel is set up, the funnel. So through Facebook advertising, right now I'm spending $1,000 a month, but I start out spending $500 a month, which is still pretty manageable to get good results. So I started out spending $500 a month.
And $500 a month,
Yep.
that's better than spending $500 on a newspaper ad.
Exactly. Yep.
So what if you're like, a brick and mortar business, turning your attention towards online advertising could be that shift.
Exactly.
That explodes your business.
And just the data that you can look at, the real time, cost per lead, cost per click, how much is it costing me to, book an appointment? Like these are very consistent, reliable numbers in terms of reporting. So yeah, compared to old school advertising, this is the way to go. And how I set it up is where they would visit the first page, a landing page, where I offer them a free resource like a PDF or a case study. I split test a few different things, and they would give me their name and email. They would then go to an application page where it had name, email, phone number, a few questions, and if they wanted to learn more about growing their business, they would go here. And then once I would get that application, they would then go to the next page, a booking page, where they would then, using Calendly, pick a time on my calendar where they can talk to me and we can see if they're a good fit for what I do. So in terms of what it costs to get somebody from just somebody on Facebook or Instagram, from here into an actual paying client, it costs this. So for a landing page, to get one lead, it costs roughly $3.50. It's roughly $3.50 To get an application, it costs roughly $25. Or let's say roughly 7 to 8 people visit this page, one of them is going to fill out an application.
Okay.
All right, so that's roughly $25 per. And then for each booked call, let's say completed call. So like let's say somebody filled out an application, but they didn't book a call, I can still reach out to them personally and get on the phone with them.
Because you have their information already.
Through the application page, yeah.
Okay.
So let's say completed call. For every call that I actually completed, it cost around $55. A prospect that's qualified, that's willing to buy what I'm selling, and I'm selling here a high ticket service that's roughly at least 3 to 6K. So if I get one person on the phone that's qualified for $55, if I'm spending $500 a month, I can roughly get 10 people on the phone for that price. If I'm closing only 10%, that's one client at, on the low end, $3K. And I spent only $500 in ads to get that $3,000 client. Well, what if I'm charging $5,000 or $6,000 or $8,000? The return on ad spend is insane with this type of system. And these are the numbers that are realistic. I've been using this system for months and months now, and these are numbers that anybody could hit as long as they're following, a predictable system. They're using a proven funnel, proven advertisements, and it's just a matter of plugging and playing. So turning somebody from a Facebook advertising just prospect, they're on Facebook or Instagram, into the landing page, then the application page, then completing a call. And this is only assuming a 10% close rate. Now I'm closing roughly 20 to 30% of my calls. So now I'm spending $1,000 in ads. So if I'm closing 30% of my calls, if it costs me $55 a call and I'm spending $1,000 in ads, that's roughly 20 calls a month. If I'm closing 25% of those calls, that's 4 new clients a month. Each client's worth roughly, I'd say now $4,000. So that's $16K in revenue for just $1,000 in ads. Let's say next month I want to spend $2,000. Then this is going to shoot up, and let's say it less than doubles. Now we're looking at $24,000. Let's say you want to spend $10,000. So you could see it's very predictable, very reliable. And it's really just a matter of having the right funnel, the right strategy, and the right plan in place to make this happen.
And how much content does that individual, do you think, needs to be making, or can they repurpose 1 or 2 or 3 videos that they make, or pieces of content for those people that maybe are not as out there?
Yeah, they really don't need any content. That's the thing with this, and that's why my clients love it, because they don't have to do any YouTube videos, no blogs. We have an automated email marketing sequence on the back end to when somebody, let's say they opt in here with their name and email, but they're not ready to buy right now. They still get a few emails, so you could say that's content.
Tripping on them?
Yeah, but that's not really that doesn't take time. You could spend 10 minutes and write an email. No video, no fancy equipment. It costs $29 a month for the software. And then eventually, I've had clients of mine $10,000 deals, $6,000 deals, where they were on my email list through this page for 5 months. And then, after seeing all my emails, my content, you could say, then they came all the way over here to fill out an application, complete a call, and then turn into a paying client. Gotcha. So you have people that come either straight through, boom, 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 and they close in let's say a week or 2, or you have people that go here, and then in roughly 1 month, 3 months, even 4 months, they then go into a paying client. So it's super predictable, super reliable. And you can get to where Denzel was at in terms of the 10 or 20K, but more predictably, more reliably, more consistently, without the variables of a YouTube channel, of what niche you're in, what factors. And this is what I'm doing. Because I saw what Denzel was doing. I'm like, man, I need to scale up. Let me figure out a way I can do it, but a little bit more, in a fast way, not so much kind of patience. I'm not that patient. So I did this, start off with $500 a month, $700. Now I'm spending roughly $1,000 in ads per month. And that's really step by step how it works.
That's pretty powerful. So he is skipping, and there's people on here that if you want to skip that whole organic approach, putting out content every single day and just, you know, becoming like an animal.
Getting like 10 views, 15 views.
Right? And just
Yeah.
hoping and praying, you can actually get predictable results. You can track it. You can see the history. And like, do you guarantee results, or is there a
Yeah.
guarantee behind it?
Yeah, so that's why I personally spent thousands of dollars on the system. I use it myself.
Right.
So I guarantee that if somebody, you know, through my new program, they're going to get at least 3 clients in the first 100 days, well-paying clients. And if
you guarantee
yeah,
the leads, you guarantee.
I guarantee that they're going to get at least 3 clients through the system, and if not, I'm going to continue working with them for free until they do. So that's the guarantee.
So whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're guaranteeing
Yeah.
the process and that I'm going to make money with you.
Oh yeah, because no, that's the thing.
And if I don't make money with you, you're going to commit until I make money with you.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's the thing. In my program, I don't just help people set up the system and say, good luck, like have a good time.
Right.
I help them with the actual sales script, the sales process, how to follow up with leads, how to price their offer, how to structure their services.
Oh, man.
Do they delegate the services if, let's say, they're not incredibly, like, let's say they want to start a digital marketing agency, but they're not like that skilled in their opinion.
Right.
They could just focus on getting the clients, and then I can help them find a contractor to then delegate that work too.
Wow. That's
So,
powerful. And again, velocity banking comes into play here. That $500 cost, you know, let's say your cash flow is $1,000 a month, and you know you still have debt. You have to make that decision whether or not I want to 10x, meaning I want to put the debt payoff on hold, and then do velocity banking on the business, meaning I'm going to invest in my business to 10x my income. Same thing, using a line of credit or a credit card, we can front load that expense through the credit card or the line of credit, pay ourselves back later from the results that we would get within 100 days.
Within 100 days, so 3 months roughly.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that's the thing with this program, to give you an idea, I help them
Break
first.
this down. What's the program?
Yeah.
How do I get involved?
So
Where
it's
do I
called,
go? And I'll be sure to put a link.
it's called the Dream Client Accelerator. And the link is going to be in the description below in this video. And it is a 6-week program. It's designed for anybody that is already establishing a business or wants to establish a client-based business. Like we said, it's for people who want to start a consulting business, coaching like Denzel does, or even a digital marketing agency. And I've worked with clients across many different industries, and if we can make it work for velocity banking, we can make it work for probably what you're looking to do.
Right.
So then it's a 6-week live program. I help people set up their offer. So what services are they going to offer? What price point? Is it a one-time coaching package? Is it a monthly retainer? How is that offer set up? Because then we don't want to get into the funnel and the advertising without having clarity on what exactly we're offering, who's our ideal client, what are their pain points, how do we sell to that client, what's the messaging? Like things like this, like if I had this information that I'm giving away in this program when I started, like if I did this for like 2 years, I'd be at 7 figures now instead of 6.
Whoa.
Straight up, because I tried to figure it out my own, and while it worked out, a lot of people, they don't want to spend the time, the struggle, the frustration. That's why this program gives them that accelerator to accelerate their growth.
The blueprint, straightforward. You have to commit, you have to do the work.
Exactly. So it's an offer first where we set up the foundation. Then it's a matter of, okay, let's set up your funnel. So kind of like we were talking about with the click funnel. Where we're going to send people to. Having the tools like, you know, the email marketing software, the Zapier, things of that nature. And then we go into the actual advertising. You know, so going over the basics, how does Facebook ads work? Then going into more advanced strategies, optimization tools, you know, tips, things like that. Then the actual, so this is attraction, and then this is actual conversion. So then, okay, now once you start running this system, how do I actually close these applications? Should I call them? Should I text? What should my sales script look like? How do I track my sales calls? Everything like that is covered in here to where now you start from basically square one, the offer, into the funnel, the advertising strategies, the conversion, and then the scaling. So like, should I have a team member? How can I automate my time? Should I raise my prices? How can I scale from, let's say, 10 grand a month to 50 or 100? And then ideally we can get you to this point, and then from there, go from 0 to 10K using these 4 tools, then eventually get into the actual scaling in terms of getting to where Denzel is going to be at.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is for anybody that either, like I said, has a business or wants to start this business. And the business model is, like you're saying, pure cash, no overhead. You don't need an office. You don't need fancy equipment. All you really need is the strategy behind this, a coach to help you get through all of these things, and a few different softwares and a little bit of advertising money to get started.
Nice.
Like you're saying, instead of, let's say you focused on velocity banking and you just focused on not increasing your income, just trying to get rid of expenses and debt. If you're looking over here, once you increase your income, you 10x'd it. That made it much more easy to actually get rid of the debt,
yes.
and increase your cash flow.
Yeah.
But most people, they try to have that scarcity mindset. They try to keep what they have, what little they have, and they hold on to it really tight. But if they just stop being so, have that scarcity mindset and they wanted to scale up in terms of their income, that would make everything easier.
So having an abundance mindset, because there is just so much out there in the world. There is a whole lot of abundance. I mean, it's no joke. So, to not live in scarcity, especially when it comes to your money, it'll reflect how you operate in every other part of your life. So what I want to do now is, answer some questions.
For sure. Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Alex on how you can get started with him? If I'm not ready for this, let's say you jump on a call with one of my people or one of my clients, and you evaluate, say, hey, you're not ready, right?
Yeah.
Because of numbers, or maybe they just really don't have the money to pay you,
Yeah.
or to pay the actual system. Is there other things that you kind of do in terms of creating content?
Oh, gotcha, like
because I
free
know
resources.
Free resources.
Yeah.
Because the things that we went over, right, of what I did, that was the other way. But is there some free things or starter things that I can do to prepare myself for the Dream Client Accelerator?
Gotcha. So this is actually my more entry-level program.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because like I said, with clients that I work with one-on-one, I actually do it for them.
Gotcha.
Now they're paying roughly,
So you're showing them that.
It's a done with, yeah.
This program is you're showing them how to do it.
It's a done with you type of program.
Done with you.
Yeah,
Okay.
but they also
I like
get that, I can kind of break down what's in the program, but they get lifetime access to me for questions via email, text. So that's the thing, for people starting out, I'd rather give them the knowledge and show them how to do it instead of, let's say, charging them $2,000 a month for me to do it for them. But then at the end of it, they don't really know exactly
what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's important.
Yeah, so that's why with this, it's structured more as a done with you, but they still get that lifetime access, to ask questions or anything like that.
How are we on time, my friend?
7 minutes.
7 minutes left to
Cool.
an hour. Cool.
Wow, we've been here for almost an hour.
Yeah,
Jeez, man.
This has been solid.
Yeah, it's
Hope
been
you guys
solid.
like it. I want to read some comments now. Just spend the last couple minutes just reading comments, and I'm gonna make sure I put your link.
Yeah, and actually, I can break down exactly
You can
kind
write
of
it
how
down
it's structured.
if you want, the link and where to reach you while I read some questions here. So
Yeah, so with the program, usually, like I said, clients have to pay roughly, $2,000 a month or more to work with me one-on-one. But, since Denzel allowed me on the show, I want to offer you guys not a free, but kind of a special for you guys to get involved with this. So in terms of what's actually in the program, like I said, it's a 6-week accelerator. You guys get one-on-one sessions with me, where I'm going to show you everything from, like I said, the offer, how the funnel works, give you my actual funnel that I'm using to where it's just plug and play for you, how to actually structure your advertising campaigns, how to actually convert leads and prospects into sales, and then how to actually scale. So it's 6 total sessions. You're going to get my exact template for my funnel that I use, as I described previously to explain it. Funnel. You're going to get copies of my most successful advertisements. You guys are going to get lifetime access.
my people like Lifetime.
Lifetime, that's the key word, lifetime?
Something about Lifetime, man.
So you're going to get that lifetime access to me via text or email to where if you have any questions or once, let's say you're actually, scaling the system and you just have a few questions you want to reach out, I'm not going to ask you to book a call for, $300 or $400. That's a part of the program where you get that lifetime access to where if you have questions 3 months or 6 months down the road, you can reach out and at no extra cost, ask those questions. And like I said, it has the 3-client guarantee where within 100 days, you're going to get at least 3 clients. And I kind of came across that number because if they get at least 3 clients, they're going to cover the investment cost and make probably double in profit.
That's good. Yeah. So a little math behind the madness.
Exactly. Yeah, because with the program for Denzel's followers, it is either $1,495 upfront or it's 3 payments of $797. And I structure it like that because roughly, let's say each one of their clients are worth on the low end $1,500. Once they get these 3 clients, they're going to be at $4,500. So even if they invest in this monthly payment program, which is a little more, they're still going to be covering their investment cost and making profit and still having the system to use forever and the knowledge to actually maintain it. Yeah, so that's how it's structured.
And again, when it comes to velocity banking now, to cover that cost, if you're applying the concept, you could do a little micro chunk at that $1,497, so you don't have to do the 3 payments, right? And then pay yourself back over time, especially through a 0% credit card or a line of credit. You have to keep your cash flow, do the work, get the results, pay yourself back, do it again.
That's why I really like this 3-client guarantee, because that's just how much trust I have in the system. But then also, people they're a little scared to be willing to make that investment, even if it's the monthly payments. But once they see the guarantee, and it's like, yeah, if my client, even if they're worth only $1,000 each, like let's say $997,
Still a win.
I'm still covering my investment cost and making profit and having the system and the knowledge to continue making money off it after roughly 3 months of being in the program.
Nice.
So I felt that, from my experience, that type of setup is pretty fair both ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Yeah.
I found a question. My friend Health Before Wealth says, using Facebook, will that work for the fitness industry?
Oh,
just
absolutely.
As he laid out, without content.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, and I have another client actually who's a fitness trainer, they use the same exact system, and they basically, what they do is, to give you an idea, they use the same exact system, landing page, application page to book a call, and they do online coaching. And they do online coaching for $800 to $1,000 a month for 3-month packages. So one client to them is worth roughly $2,500 to $3,000. So they just need to get one client to make this investment cost work, and when they paid to work with me. So that's why instead of doing the in-person personal training, 50 a session, you have to drive to their house and it's very time consuming. I just told them, do an online coaching, have an 8-week program, structure it that way. And then, like I said, the rest of the system was plug and play. It was just for their messaging, who's their ideal client. Let's write up the emails. They get my email templates that I use, but then we just tweak them for their specific audience and their specific services. They get my sales script. We tweak it for their specific offer. And then, yeah, they're both doing well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so this is really a plug and play for any industry. Even if you're looking to start the business, but you don't have experience in it, you don't have credentials, then I would just recommend you start an agency offering digital marketing services where you don't actually have to perform the services. You delegate that, and that's also something to where if that's what you're looking to do, then I help you do that as well. So delegate the actual client service to somebody who has experience, to where they can actually get the client's results, retain the clients, and you just focus on using the system to keep selling more people. So whether or not you have a specific knowledge set, this is going to work for them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put your contact info
for sure.
real quick, because we're going to go ahead and wrap up.
Cool.
But I want them to just see it, and then I'll also drop the link in the description. You guys can reach out to Alex. You can also go to my website, denzelrodriguez.com. On the resources page, he's on there. Okay.
With the updated link. Yeah.
With the updated link, so you'll be able to get that offer that he has. Is that a temporary offer, or is that just for my
Yeah, so this offer, I'm opening up to 5 spots because, like I said, it's not an automated online course. There's a lot of manual work. I have that client guarantee. So with that, I need to make sure that I'm not spreading myself too thin to be able to honor that guarantee.
Okay.
And so with that, there's 5 spots at that price. So yeah.
Like it.
That's kind of the
Okay.
structure. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's my email.
I know I got another question that came in.
Yep.
She says, do you have anything with someone with website selling physical products, like a physical product, not a service?
So for this system, I wouldn't say that it works for that, to be honest. No, like this is for
Just
service-based businesses, people selling stuff over the phone.
Because sometimes the product might not, it might be a $50 product.
Yeah, and that's exactly, so it doesn't make sense
Gotcha.
in terms of the ad spend versus the revenue that you generate from the ad spend. So that's why I like client-based businesses, because they can charge $1,000, $2,000, even $2,500 for a package, to where the advertising cost versus getting just one client, it makes sense.
Cool. And can this be done on a part-time basis?
That's a good question, because with this, starting out, you only need, I'd say, 2 hours a day at most
2 hours
to actually do the weekly sessions, implement what we went over, ask questions. You also get a custom action plan based on your specific business model that I'll personally write. And that's the thing, it's supposed to start off as a part-time thing, like you did, and then eventually scale up to where it's like, okay, I'm making $5K a month, $7K a month, $8K a month. Now,
full-time.
not just like, hey, quit your job and do this 40 hours a week. Because really, once you set up the system, you're really just managing phone calls.
Right.
And that's really, and then closing clients and then servicing them. So in terms of time, it's not really time consuming. I'd say 2 hours a day at most,
So
once you get it going.
I could have a job, I could be a mom with kids, working, doing something like this, starting my business on the side, making it happen.
Yes.
I can make it happen.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I like to structure it as a 6-week with the 3-client guarantee, because it gives people time to figure things out, work through the kinks, and then by the end of the 100-day, they're going to have 3 clients.
Like it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that concludes our show here. I appreciate your time, everyone. I hope this was super valuable, kind of going over the ins and outs behind the scenes, how I went from 0 to $250,000 in revenue, working with Alex. I trust this guy. I know, like, and trust. We've got the same type of mindset in terms of growth and who we follow, who we listen to. Remember how I always talk about having a fantasy league? And so, prime example was, I follow Gary Vaynerchuk, he follows Gary Vaynerchuk, and he also listens to Grant Cardone, I listen to Grant Cardone. So when you can find someone that kind of matches you on your level, so that you don't have to pay Grant Cardone type money or Gary Vaynerchuk type, to get them in a room, you can work with someone that
is accessible.
Right, accessible, and then you graduate together and you grow together. So my name's Denzel Rodriguez. This is Alex. It's been a pleasure working with everyone and sharing this information. God bless. Have a wonderful day.
And thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, man. Awesome. Cool.